This is Sharak Parvini, and I'm the instructor for your Math 150 course. I thought I put together this orientation video. What I like to do in it is to explain about the course, how this is going to get done, and how I do things, and also to point out some important items on the syllabus and our tentative schedule, and pretty much explain how the course is going to unfold and how to use our Canvas website. One thing I want to point out is that I do not use a Zoom. Instead of Zooming, actually I will screencast my lectures. That's just like being in a classroom in front of a whiteboard and writing on the whiteboard. So I actually do that for the course. Primarily reason for doing so is that because anything that's done through Zoom cannot be captioned, or at least not by Zoom itself. You could go through third-party vendors and create or incur additional cost, which I cannot afford, and so because of that, I'm not going to use Zoom for lectures, because they cannot be closed captions, and by law we have to have everything that we post must be captioned. So that is the primary reason. So the way I will work this course, the way I will conduct my lectures, is that I will work them on my OneNote. I do have a a touch-tone or a not a touch-tone, a touch-screen laptop, which I use a digital pen on it, and I actually write as if I'm writing on the board. And then what I'll do is I make them available through Canvas, and I will upload these on YouTube, actually, where YouTube captions them. So that's the primary reason, again, for doing things the way I do. So let's actually go through here, and again, this is not a lecture, this is just an orientation about the course. So here is our Canvas site. I want to point your attention to this MT2C online tutoring. This is done by Mesa College, and this is actually the tutoring center website. So here is where you can actually get help if you need to. You can set up virtual Zoom meetings with a tutor for the course, and the tutors actually fit you on their schedule. You're given limited time, just as any other situation. So don't expect to be meeting with a tutor for a whole hour or 2 hours, anything like that. So they probably give you 15 to 20 minutes. So it would be a great idea if you could kind of form study groups among yourselves, and this way you can help one another. But tutoring is available free of charge for you. For those of you who've been with Mesa College for a while, you pretty much know your way around this site. For those that are new, and this is like perhaps your first course at Mesa College, please explore these opportunities here. Make a tutoring appointment right here, for example. There you go. You can do that. And there are various links here that will guide you in the right direction, helpful resources, so on and so forth. So if you need help again, if you need tutoring, this is where you go get it, right in here. So I'm going to go back to my home, and for some reason this thing just doesn't allow me to get out of it. Let me leave a student view, and don't mind what I'm doing. Let me go back into this course, and let me bring up student view. Okay, so this is what you will be seeing once you come to the site. Now, one thing I want to point out, no, not one thing, another thing I want to point out is that I do not use MyMathLab, I do not use Hawks, I do not use Connect, I do not use Alex, and I do not use any other portals by the publishers. The book we are using is by Sue Tan, and that book is published by Cengage, I believe. And I do not use their portal for this course, and primarily the reason I don't, because their portal, which for Cengage I believe is WebAssign, does not support the book, and for that reason I cannot use a portal such as MyMathLab, WebAssign, and so on. So pretty much we're going to learn from the book. The book is a pretty good book. It is by, again, the author Sue Tan from UC Berkeley. Okay, so let me go through actually, and I'm going to go down this list. Let's begin with actually branches of mathematics. I just kind of put this together for you, and because now you have reached a point where you're taking what we call a gateway course. Calculus 1 is what we call the gateway course. What that means is that once you get through the calculus series, you can pretty much go into a lot of different directions in the fields of science and engineering. So that's why it's a gateway course, and an important course at that. Of course, everything else in higher mathematics builds upon this calculus. The calculus that we're doing, actually, there are different calculi. The one we're working is commonly known as calculus of infinitesimals. That means very small. So that's the kind of calculus we're looking at. So what I've done here is I've actually drawn this. I've created this. It's not a copy and paste from anyone. I actually kind of put this together for you. So think about, here's mathematics, the whole science of mathematics, field of mathematics. There are two branches of mathematics, one that is applied, the other one is pure mathematics. Now, you can pretty much see what the applied mathematics involves or entails. You can have application in finance, engineering, field theory, physics, computing, and so on and so forth. So this will be the applied segment. Okay, now under the umbrella of pure mathematics, I have some of the branches. This is not an exhaustive list, but you have algebra, geometry, topology, analysis, combinatorics, logic, and number theory. Okay, and of course the algebra we're talking here, we're not talking about algebra 1, algebra 2. This is different kind of algebra. So if you go down the analysis branch here, you come across these other sub branches. These are all subdivisions within the field of analysis. So we have real analysis, we have complex analysis, functional analysis, measure theory analysis, differential equations, numerical analysis. And here are some of the examples of the topics that will be studied under these subfields of analysis. So I'm just trying to point to you where you are in your mathematical lives. So we have reached calculus. So calculus is within the field of real analysis, which is within the pure branch of mathematics. Okay, and that's what it is. So we're talking about real valued functions, and of course in calculus, one of the topics that's interesting to us, well, unfortunately not in this course, but your second semester calculus, take up the idea of Taylor series. And if you study complex analysis, functions of complex numbers, Laurent series is an example of this division of analysis. Functional analysis involves things such as vector spaces and Fourier transforms. And the measure theory involves optimization and variational analysis. Differential equations, which most likely will be the course that you will be taking in about maybe 2-3 semesters time. This divides into ordinary and partial differential equation. With partial, you have more than 2 variables. Okay. And numerical analysis, which primarily the goal is to approximate functions using other functions. Okay. And of course, approximate definite integrals. So that would be the field of analysis. Again, all of these are subdivisions of analysis. So I just want to point out again, this is where we are, where you're doing calculus. Okay, so let me get out of that one. You're not going to be tested on this, okay, so don't worry. Let's actually go through syllabus. Now I have 2 versions of these files because some students have trouble opening the Word file. That's the docx file. So I have it in PDF form, and that will cover both types of students. let me actually bring up the Word document. So if you click on any of these documents, this is what you would expect to happen. The document opens within Canvas. I have it to where it opens inside Canvas, so it won't throw you outside, so you're always within Canvas. So let's go through. This is fall 2020, and I have the COVID-19 version of this because, again, I had to make quite a bit of adjustments because of the current situation. Okay. And of course, our timeline is beginning August 17. That's when semester begins, and it will last through December 14. Okay. So this is Math 150. Here's the CRN. Now, these would be the times if we were meeting in a classroom on campus, but of course, we're going to be online. Now, we're going to actually work off of a Tuesday-Thursday calendar. That's important. Although we are not going to meet at 9:35 to 12, but we're actually off of a calendar that's based on Tuesday-Thursday schedule. Okay, so please keep that in mind as you go through this course. Pretend that you're going to class every Tuesday-Thursday at 9:35 a.m. This doesn't mean you have to go to Zoom at 9:30 in the morning, so don't worry about it. You can sleep in. This is just our calendar basis. Okay, so it keeps me straight. It keeps everything in check for us. So we have some kind of a norm, some kind of a organized structure to follow. Okay, now I'm Shiraq Parvini. I've been with the mathematics department at Mesa College for quite some times. I've had the privilege of becoming actually the full-time faculty since year 2000. So this is my 20th year with Mesa College. I've also taught on other campuses and universities. So my primarily employer is Mesa College at the moment, but I do have positions on other campuses. Okay. And the office hours. Okay, so here's the email. The email is pretty easy to even remember. So it's sparvini, first initial, last name, at sdccd.edu. The office hours, I have a Monday, Wednesday from 12 to 1 p.m. Now remember, this is not just for your course, because I have 5 classes and I have to share office hours with them. So for your class and another class, I've tried to set aside these times from 12 to 1 p.m. Okay, and of course the office hours, because we're not on campus, so I'll be able to hold Zoom sessions for about 15 minutes per student, and these have to be by appointments, everyone, please, because again, I need to keep some kind of a order and structure, otherwise it's going to get very confusing for me and unmanageable. So for example, today some student in other class emailed me and requested an appointment for 12 o'clock on Wednesday. So that's what that was. And then I scheduled her from 12 to 12:15. So that's how I'm planning on handling this. Keep in mind, this is really not the norm for us. We never did classes like this. We were always on campus and in our offices and in classrooms. So we're trying to make the best of a difficult situation like everybody else in the world is right now. I mentioned about virtual tutoring is available this course. Details are listed in our Canvas course and right in here. Remember, this is the details I'm talking about. The text is by Sutan, 2010. So that's like 10 years ago. Actually, that's not bad for a calculus book. I know every 4 years they try to have new edition of these calculus textbooks. There's really no reason for them changing them so often, because it's not like calculus is going to change in 4 years. It hasn't changed in 300 years. So it's not going to change within the next 2 years. But the textbooks get updated. They add more bells and whistles to it, and so that way I guess they can charge you more for it. Calculus textbooks now, newer editions push upwards of $300. So but we're using this version of it. And something that actually other students have told me, and I'm not advertising, I'm not encouraging anything, and this is just strictly something a student told me, is that they were actually able to find the PDF version of this book online. So that's all I'm gonna say. So if you're resourceful, if you look around, and maybe other students can help you, and you can actually get a hold of the PDF version of the book. And I'm not sure how much it will cost you, anywhere from free to whatever they charge you. Okay. Now the supplies here being online, I'm not sure how this is gonna go, but in a face-to-face situation, most our instructors do not allow graphing calculators, and for obvious reasons, because nowadays we're all aware of it. Calculators are capable of doing not only graphing, but only integration and differentiation. That is taking derivatives. So I just want to point something as far as that is concerned. You guys are just at the gateway, right? In the beginning of something very important. So please make sure that you do not cut corners, and that you truly want to learn the course, because everything you do in the future, you're really building on this course, and in fact the whole calculus series, that is Calc 1, 2, and 3. Calc 1, 2, and 3 combined are about 10% of your degree at the university. That's beginning from Mesa College, because there are about 13 units, right? 13 semester units. You're going to graduate with roughly about 130 units. So that's how I came up with the 10%. So 10% of your education is your calculus. That's important. No other course has such a weight. So please make sure that you do not use calculators to do integration, differentiation, so on and so forth. Okay. I'll explain more as far as the exams go, how we'll do those. Okay, so there's your supply. A non-graphing basic calculator is enough. You're not going to really do much on the calculators. For some of the graphs, I mean, this is good for homework. I use Desmos, okay, which is a web-based software. So if I want to graph something fancy, I'll do it in Desmos for you. Otherwise, I'll just draw it by hand. We'll keep it pretty traditional. So there's your supplies. The prerequisite. Hopefully you have a good background in pre-calculus. Now I know last semester things kind of got out of whack with this COVID-19, and we ended up shutting campus down, classrooms down, and everything was just a big giant mess. So I'm just hoping that since March and through summer, you were able to learn the prerequisite knowledge. I don't care so much that you got a C in Math 141 or A or B. It really doesn't matter to me. What matters is that you learned what you were supposed to. The letter grade doesn't so much matter. So hopefully you learned it, and you learned your trig well, because we will do some trig stuff. And as far as like review of stuff, we're going to do very, very basic, a limited review as it's needed. So don't expect me to go back and review algebra stuff for you, or basic trig identities, things like that, how to solve trig equations. All of those you're supposed to know. So if you spend time on those, then we won't be able to spend time on the real stuff that we're supposed to be doing in our calculus class. Okay. Now, the catalog course description, this is pretty much what this is. This is a transferable course, and of course it transfers all across the US as calculus. So it does articulate with other campuses. The course learning outcomes, don't worry about those. The objective is to, let's see, I'm just reading this. Okay, and this is kind of like the objectives to me are like catalog course description. Okay, So that way you can read those. Alright, so how are you going to get your letter grades, right? All I have are 5 exams and a final. I'm not collecting any homework, and again, I'm not using a software, a portal such as my MATLAB for grading any homework. Again, because the publisher of the book does not support the book through software. So there's no technology that comes with this book. And the reason we've selected it because it is a good book. It's a good classic book in calculus. So there is, I guess, the trade-off. But anyhow, I'm not going to collect homework because it will just take too long of my time collecting homeworks, and we can do away with homeworks. But I don't want to de-emphasize the importance of homework. In fact, I have the homework assignment for you on the homepage. I'll show you. But please do homeworks. You have to be active participants in this course. Do as many as you can if you really want to succeed. If that's not your goal, then you can do other things. But if you really want to learn this stuff, you really have to do the homework assignments. And I will do a good number of homework and illustrative examples. I'll do some very good examples that are challenging examples, some easy ones and some challenging ones. So when it comes time to homework, you can do that. If you have question on the homework, remember, you can set up virtual with tutors. You can set up virtual tutoring with tutors. But I'm really hoping that you can help one another. Okay? And then what I could do is some of the homework, if you cannot get a hold of a solutions manual, then I can put the solution to some of the homework for you. Okay, if that's like something problematic, I can do that without actually recording audio, or just have a screen capture of my notebook that I'm solving these problems. So I can do that. So if there's really a problematic homework problem, let's say the whole class is having trouble with, please let me know, and I create a video for it, and I solve it, and I post it on our Canvas site. Okay, so we have 5 exams and a final. Notice the final is just another exam. It's 100 points, so total really 600 points. Now, I don't drop any exam scores because every chapter that we cover is important, folks. We cover 6 chapters in this textbook that I've selected, and other people in the department are using this textbook, by the way, and a lot of people will be using it for 2nd and 3rd semester calculus. So that is good. So as far as, again, your grades is primarily based on exams, and let's see, okay, and all of these are on a tentative schedule, which I'll show you momentarily. And there are no makeups on the exams, by the way. And being online, here's how I work the exams. Let's say your exam is on September 27th. Okay, so on September 27th, remember our class time, right? It was from 9:35 till 12 o'clock. So you have the entire class time to do it. Okay, so that's what is important. I want you to set aside the time, our class time. Let me go back up, and there you go. 9:30 to 12 p.m. There you go. That's going to be for the exams. Okay, so you have 2.5 hours to complete the exam on that date. Okay, so I will post the exam, you work it, and then you upload it for me, and then I can actually grade the uploaded work. And the exams are going to be show your work. So you got to make sure you do just that, show your work on every problem. So I'm not looking at just the answers. I want to see how you work the problems. And based on your background, your prerequisite knowledge, I can gauge whether that solution came from the student or it came from a higher up. Just so please make sure that you work the exams yourselves and that you're not getting outside help on those. Okay. Now, one thing about your grades again, if your score on the final exam is better than the lowest scoring exam, the first 5 exams, I will replace the lowest exam score with the score on the final exam. Okay? So if that helps you. If it doesn't help you, I will not do that. Okay? So let's say a student is going to miss an exam. He or she's going to get a 0, but then final score, whatever they get on the final, will replace that exam. I think that would be fair. The homework, again, I will assign homeworks, but keep in mind, I'm not collecting homeworks in this course. If you have any verifiable disabilities, please let me know and send me your paperwork through the DSPS office, or you can attach it as an email. It has to be official DSPS office seal and logo. Academic dishonesty, please make sure you do your own work. Again, with the exams, please be very vigilant with the exams, because that's all we have, and I'll be keeping a watchful eye on the method of the solutions. I can kind of gauge whether the solutions are coming from an outside source. Sometimes they come from a different country. So I'll be able to gauge your understanding of what you've known, what you've learned based on what I have taught you. So if you go beyond the scope of what we have learned, and a PhD student is working homework problems for you, that's beyond what you've learned in this course, then I will know that that problem was not done by the student. So that would fall under the umbrella of the academic dishonesty. So please make sure you do the things yourselves. Okay. And as far as the time commitment, according to campus, to college, you expect to spend about 2 hours outside the class preparing for every hour in class. Well, we're not in class, but think of it online. So this is a 5-unit course. You would expect to spend about 10 hours a week on this course. Dropping withdrawal, I hope you don't have to withdraw from the course, but if you do, please do it officially. Don't count on me withdrawing you. Usually what happens is if a student misses like 2 exams, I withdraw the students, because I know that they're not here. So that's how I keep attendance with the students. Other than that, I don't. But yeah, if you have to withdraw, please do it yourself. Don't count on me. And I think that's about it. Yeah, pretty simple. So I try to keep the syllabus to a minimum, and hopefully you're able to follow everything. If you still have questions once I've gone over the syllabus, please send me email, and I'll try to respond and clarify any confusion that I may have caused. Okay, so we talked about homework and we talked about exams. Remember, the exams are not exactly like the homework problems, but they're motivated by the homework. The exams don't have to be exactly like the homework. So again, they should be inspired by the homework. And if you work the homework problems I've assigned, I'm pretty sure you do well on the exams. And remember, you don't turn in homeworks, and exams are show your work on every problem. No graphing calculators. Very little, in fact, calculator we use in this course, ironically. Okay, so I went over the syllabus. Now let me go over our tentative schedule here. The tentative schedule is just that. Tentative means subjective. So there's a potential for it to change, but as many years as I've done this and taught this course, my tentative schedules are pretty certain. Almost put it at 99.9% certainty. That's how tentative that is. So we started the course Tuesday, August 18. That's today. And of course, what I'm doing right now, going through what I'm going through right now, which this is gonna take probably about 45 minutes to an hour. What I'm doing right now. And then I will separately have a lecture over section 1.1. So after today, you should be able to do the homework problems in section 1.1. And by Thursday, I will have the lecture posted for sections 1.2 and 1.3. Now, anytime Thursday, remember, we don't meet in a class, so it's not like at 9:30 I'm going to come here, sit down and do lecture. So it could be Thursday 4 in the morning, could be Thursday 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So anytime from morning to afternoon on Thursday, if I can, I would love to do it on Wednesday, so you wake up in the morning, you can have your cup of coffee or cup of hot tea, and you can watch the lectures. Okay. And there you go. And this is what I meant. We are on a Tuesday-Thursday schedule. And we're going to finish chapter 1 by next week, a week from Tuesday. And then in 2 weeks, check it out. In 2 weeks, you have your first exam. Okay. And then after that, you have these other sections in these chapters. There is a holiday, September 7th, which doesn't really affect us hardly at all. Since we're online, a lot of these dates are not as significant as they used to be. The exam dates are significant because, again, remember, these are the exam dates. So September 1st, you should be available at that time from 9:30 to 12 p.m. Okay, that's when you'll be able to actually receive the exam. I'll post the exam by then. You will download it, you will work it, and you will upload it within 2.5 hours. Okay. So that will be exam 1. Same thing, exam 2. So please mark your calendars on these days. Do not commit yourself to a work. Do not commit yourself anywhere else. And make sure you have reliable internet connection. Okay. Thank you. So exam 1, exam 2, almost every 2 weeks we have an exam. You see that? And I think this is the best way to do this course, so you know exactly where the problems are coming from, so we don't have to mix the problems, different topics, because each chapter, it really is its own, and having chapter exams really help the students sort things out. I want to point out an important date here. This is the withdrawal deadline, October 23rd. So beyond this date, no student can withdraw from the course. We must assign a letter grade to the student. The coverage, as you can see from tentative schedule, chapters 4, 5, 6, and there you go. We only cover 6 chapters. And in chapter 5, actually, look at this. We're going to skip 3 sections of chapter 5. These are the sections, these are the applications of definite integrals, which you will pick up, or you're supposed to anyway, to pick them up in the second semester calculus. Okay, and that's what I have in our Math 151 at Mesa College. That would be second semester calculus. And I think that's about it on this document. If it was in a classroom, I would ask, are there any questions? But I guess right now it's kind of different. I'm hoping that I'm touching on everything that I think you may have questions on. And there you have it. So again, I'll try to have the lecture notes by the dates, not the time, but the dates that are posted. And again, you can count on those happening on those dates. All right. And let me get out of this document. I'm going to home. Now here's the homework document I was talking about. And there you have it. It's a PDF. If you click here, by the way, you can download it. But this just loads inside of Canvas. But again, if you click here, it will move down towards the bottom of the page, and you can click open it in Adobe or another application. So there you have it. Mathematics 150, Calc 1 homework, Chapter 1, Section 1.1, and Section 1.3, 1.5. So that means we're not doing Section 1.21. Oh, and I'm sorry, we are. That kind of stood out. It was awkward, but there they are. It goes 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, 1.5. Okay, so you're doing 1 through 22 odd, 31, 33, 43, 45. Remember, the more you do, the better, folks. So what else you have to do, right? With the pandemic, you're cooped up at home, might as well do more calculus problems, and we'll make something good out of it. So there you have it, 1 through 38, odd number problems, so on and so forth. Chapter 2, and there you have it. And chapter 3, chapter 4, chapter 5, and so on. And there's in chapter 6. Okay. And that's all the homework. Again, no due dates on the homework. You don't have to turn them in. So do as many of these as you can as possible. That would only be good. So there, I've covered the syllabus, I covered tentative schedule, and I went over the homework sheet. And this is the Zoom Confer link. Let me just click on that. Again, remember, this is for office hours. So let's say you have an office hours, you're going to meet me during the office hours at a certain time, certain students. You just come here and click on the time that I've given you, and then I will be in my Zoom room, and we will discuss your issue. Okay? And I'm not sure if you need the personal meeting ID. This personal ID is actually looks like a phone number, doesn't it? Here's the area code 619. The 388 is the prefix for Mesa College. And 2395 is direct number to my office. So that's actually my office number, but please don't call me in the office because I'm not there, and I don't even check my voicemail anymore. I get too emotional when I call my office number because I've been away from it since March. So hopefully we'll back in it by next year. Okay, and one thing you will need when you go to Zoom is a password, and I made it easy for you to remember. Parvini, all lowercase. Okay, and that's all with this one. So I went over all of these documents. I talked about tutoring, no grades. There's no grades, but here's where you would check your grades, I suppose. There you go. There's nothing here, so if you click on it there, let me click on it, you'll see there's nothing. You see that I have no submissions. That's just a placeholder for me, just so I know that I have to put something there. Exam 1, exam 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like that. Now, again, I want to point towards discussions here. Let me click on that. This is what I call a student-to-student, peer-to-peer open discussion. Okay, and it looks like blue means there we go. 1 unread replies. So I just put that on there, and let me click on this. And this is what I have for you. You may get in touch with other students and exchange information about the course topics. Please do not discuss test problems on this, okay? So anyone that posts answers to the exams, I will have to take that question out of the exam. If any exam problem are discussed in these, I will take them out of grading pool of questions. So please don't discuss questions, exam questions in here. This is to truly help each other. So, like for example, you might want to say, well, how do you do this problem, homework problem number 35 on chapter 2, section 4? And then somebody says, okay, so here's how you solve it. That would be perfectly fine. That would be great. In fact, if you guys do that, if you post the solution to homework, because remember, they're there for everyone to learn. So if somebody actually, like a lot of people have question, how do you do this homework problem? Can anyone help me? Feel free to take a picture. Make sure you write legibly and neatly so other students can read them. So it's not too sloppy. And you can actually post the solutions to those homework problems, and by doing that you're actually helping me quite a bit, and I appreciate it. I need all the help I can get, folks. because I have 7 online classes this semester, and I'm absolutely gonna go crazy. I'm gonna go bananas with these courses, all being online. And in all honesty, today was Monday. We're now into Tuesday. I've been in front of my laptop non-stop, with the exception, I should say, 2 hours break. 1 hour for lunch, 1 hour for dinner, maybe one and a half hour. But I've been in front of my computer since 10:30 this morning until it is about 1 a.m. Tuesday. So it's just a lot of work, and hopefully you can empathize. And that is why I don't collect homework that I have to grade it. If software does it, I don't mind it, but if I have to do it, I just don't have time. But anyways, if you post solution to homework problems, that would be great. You don't have to copy the solutions manual and say, here's how the solution manual does it. I guess you could. Anything that helps the students, right? But don't copy like the entire solutions manual. Try to give it some context. And if you do it yourself, it's much better. So I just want to point that out. And of course, you keep the politics out of it, right? With the election coming up, we don't care if you're pro-Trump or pro-Biden. They're both gentlemen. They're both good. But we have other issues in our calculus courses that we have to address. And let's see. Oh, here's actually one post. Maybe this individual, Saya Shahoy. Let me see. If you hold it, there's author's name yesterday. So there you go. August 17 at 1:45 p.m. That's when this post was made by this Saya Shahoy. I gather is a gentleman. I apologize if it's not. But so this one, let me read it. It says, "Hi everyone. If anyone wants to create a study group to help each other explain things to one another," beautiful. Thank you, Saya. You should run for vice president. I would be down. LMK, how you want the contact. Now LMK, that means let me know. Let me know how you want to connect, not contact. How you want to connect. So there you go. Please reply to Saya, and I appreciate Saya for initiating this. So this is what I meant, and that's exactly how it should be used. Thank you, Saya. And that's it. So again, I want to welcome you all to the course. I really hope you enjoy it. Remember, this is a very important course, folks, a gateway course. So your future, your careers, your academic future, at least in the short run, really depends on this course and the other 2 series of calculus. Very important cornerstone of a lot of different subjects that you will be taking in engineering and sciences, chemistry, physics, astronomy, business, just about every endeavor, every scientific endeavor relies on calculus heavily. Okay, with that, I'm going to stop this video and I'm going to post it. Actually, in fact, I'm going to post it right up here below course document. Now, this orientation video is the most important thing I've done so far. So I wish you the best, and again, I want to welcome you to a great semester, and I hope you really learn a lot in the course, and we'll just go through it together, and I'm sure we'll make it through. Okay, have a good day or good night, everyone. Thank you for your attention.